Hey guys, it's Gretchen from Gretchen's Bakery, and I finally got my Russian piping tips. Can you believe it? I'm usually a couple years behind the times when it comes to jumping on the bandwagon, but I can say I'm quite happy with my purchase. And I wanted to take a minute just to share with you my couple of insights that I got from using them the first time. Here is my almond pound cake with raspberry cream cheese icing that I made specifically for this decoration. So be sure to click the link at the end of this video if you want to see how I made that awesome cake. But as for the Russian piping tips, I ordered from Amazon, and there are literally dozens to choose from, and they are not all the same. I got the smaller kit that has only 7 tips in it, since I just really didn't feel like I wanted to go all out and get the set with 28 or 29 pieces. You can click the link below for the exact set that I got. It was only $14 for all 7 tips and free shipping. So I am happy with all the tips that are in the set. They are all for flowers and one large one for grass. I had to use my own tip for making leaves, but that was okay since I'm pretty partial to the tip that I have that comes in my Gretchen's Bakery Essentials cake decorating kit anyway. What I found was that these tips need to have a buttercream recipe that is closer to a decorator's icing and not so much a Swiss meringue or Italian meringue style buttercream. I tested these tips with all 3 of my icing recipes, and the winner was definitely my American style buttercream, which is a great recipe already because it doesn't really taste like a decorator's icing. So if you have not yet tried my American buttercream recipe, even without the Russian tips, you must check it out. I have gotten rave reviews on it since the day I shared it. Okay, so here I only used 3 out of the 7 tips, and it is impossible to say which tips I used by name or number because the thing about these tips is that they are not marked. I'm not really sure if that's true of all the different brands or vendors, but the set that I got was not marked. So let's see. The pros for the Russian piping tips would be, well, they're great with my buttercream recipe. They pipe really nice and clean, definite shapes as long as you have the right buttercream recipe. And with just a squeeze of the pastry bag, no skill is required to make beautiful flower bouquet cakes. They are easy to clean and they are stainless steel. Now, I do have a cons list, and well, the first thing that I noticed is that they're really large tips, and I would have had to dedicate pastry bags specifically for these tips, since I would have had to cut a much larger hole than what we are already used to making. Now, they do sell a coupler attachment for these tips, but it didn't come in my set, and the Wilton one will not work with these tips. Another con, as I mentioned already, is that there's no markings to know which tip you're using, which is kind of annoying from a tutorial standpoint, but you guys will get to know what's what just by trying them out, and also by using the guide here for some coaching to see what it's supposed to look like. The one thing that I noticed in my practice is that the pressure that you use to pipe the flowers is the most important thing to get the proper shape and look to the flower. It is a very fast and firm pressure with a lifting up motion that is equally as fast. As you can see here, I do use a heavy amount of pressure to squish out the icing while lifting up the tip very quickly as I release the pressure. It's harder to explain and just easier to practice, but you can see when I was slower about the whole movement, the icing just came out like a blob. Well, other than those few things that I experienced, I do think they're really cool and easy to use. They are definitely affordable and make stunning cakes with minimal effort and skill. Just be sure to get the right tips you like and use my buttercream recipe for perfect stability and shapes. Alright guys, well, thanks for checking out my video. I do hope it was helpful, and be sure to get over to GretchensBakery.com to get all the recipes, and please subscribe to my channel if you are not already so that you don't miss a thing from Gretchen's Bakery. Happy baking, and I will see you again soon.